Shah is Tava to you. Rajendra, O best of kings, Bhavan, your lordship, Yam, whom, Anushotati, laments over, Tram, you, Cha, and Asha, to him, the dead boy, Katamaha, who, Shrishta, in the birth, Pura, previously, Idanim, at this time, at the present, Ataha Param, and hereafter, in the future. Translation. O king, what relationship does the dead body for which you lament have with you, and what relationship do you have with him? You may say that you are now related as father and son, but do you think this relationship existed before? Does it truly exist now? Will it continue in the future? Purport. The instruction given by Narada and Angira Muni are the true spiritual instructions for illusion-conditioned souls. This world is temporary, but because of our previous karma, we come here and accept bodies, creating temporary relationships in terms of society, friendship, love, nationality and community, which are all finished at death. These temporary relationships did not exist in the past, nor will they exist in the future. Therefore, at the present moment, the so-called relationships are illusioned. Gam karoti vatalam bhangam langayate grimyat kripatamaham mande sri gurum dinacharanam vanchikalpatarubhyascha triyasimyadevacha patitam bhavyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, while King Chitraketu, overcome by lamentation, lay like a dead body at the side of the dead body of his son, the two great sages, Narada and Angira, instructed him about spiritual consciousness as follows. O king, what relationships does the dead body for which you lament have with you, and what relationship do you have with him? You may say that you are now related as father and son, but do you think this relationship existed before? Does it truly exist now? Will it continue in the future? So perfect timing here of Angira Muni and Narada Muni coming to instruct the king when one thing he needed the most, but also when he's the most open-minded, open-hearted. Because in order for instructions to really reach the heart, we need to understand the urgency. We need to know and be fully convinced that this is what I need. I think I gave the example before, this room, all of a sudden all the oxygen was taken out of this room. The need for air would become quite pertinent. We would immediately go and open the door, immediately go outside. We got this smell of the morning, immediately the doors was opened. Because we have a need. So when the need is urgent enough, is pertinent enough, then you act upon it, no matter what. So this is what Angira and Narada Munis, they are doing here. They are seeing now Chitraketu, he's in an urgent need for instructions, and he will be ready to listen. I think we gave the example recently just with Arjuna saying he's crying there on the battlefield, and Krishna is smiling. Because he understands now Arjuna is ready to receive instructions. So it's a good thing. Misery is a good thing, because it opens our hearts, it makes us eligible for hearing. And often it's very difficult to hear. And that we can see when we're preaching to mundane people, to karmis. When we're preaching, very difficult to reach their hearts. Even to reach their intelligence. Very difficult. And to change it. it takes a lot of consistent focus to be able to enter, because they don't really understand the urgency they need. Because everything's okay. I'm fine. I have some problems here and there, but otherwise I'm fine. And as Yudhishthira said, Yudhishthira Maharaj says, they don't understand that they will die. So that's why there's no need. Oh, I'm fine. A little problem here and there, but that's part of life. So in this way we make a philosophy and say, yeah, everything is okay. Most people are worse off than I am. But as long as we have that mentality, it's very difficult, as Kunti says in her prayer, that if you're too attached to your birth, beauty, etc., then it's very difficult. Janma Aishwarya Shuddha Shripi. If you have a good birth, Janma Aishwarya, a lot of opulence, Shuddha, a lot of education, Shripi, a lot of godly beauty. Janma Aishwarya Shuddha Shripi. Dhamanavada Puman, and you're bewildered by these things. You're maddened by these things. One who's in that condition, he doesn't even deserve, he doesn't have the eligibility, the inclination to chant sincerely. So then you can say, you should chant this Maha Mantra with all sincerity, you should give your heart to it, you should study Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam every day, but who will do? Very few people. Manusha Namasasis, Krishna says it's very, very rare that a person just starts spiritual life, just trying to understand they're not the body they're situated in. Very rare, especially in Kali Yuga. Krishna spoke that in 5,000 years ago. And it's eternal knowledge. Always it's very rare. But in Kali Yuga it's practically non-existent. People have not even come to the conclusion. Some might think theoretically, yeah, maybe I'm something else, maybe the spirit soul, but have they realized? Have we realized? And then on top of that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God and I'm part and parcel of Srimad Bhagavatam Jiva, okay. And my duty is to surrender to Him. Then everything comes, as Prabhupada says here, that's the recipe for happiness. That's how to become happy. Simply understand, I'm a pure spirit soul, I'm part and parcel of Krishna, my duty is to serve the whole. You don't need to know anything else. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. So, and one who understands, Krishna says, one who understands the Vedas, the essence of the Vedas, he knows all the Vedas. He knows everything in existence, because he understands the essence. So if you understand just these basic things, instructions, then we have all knowledge. So of course the sages, Angira and Narada Munis, they have this, they have fully realized it. And that's why now when Chittaketu is completely open-minded, they come and now they inject in instructions into his heart. And we can see the result. Chittaketu immediately becomes relieved from his suffering. Chittaketu, we told the story last time, a few days ago, about Srivas Thakur having the kirtan, and then his son died. And he just went and told his wife and the other ladies there, please stop lamenting, because you're disturbing the kirtan of the Lord. That's surrender. If we can imagine, like, put ourselves in that situation, it's a lot of grief. And also it's said, you should give pleasure to the devotees, you should serve the devotees, right? So you can say they have the right to lament. But Srivas Thakur, just on such a high level of Krishna consciousness, he says, if I can just give a little pleasure to the Lord, my life is perfect. And if I do the opposite, my life is finished. My life is useless. So if I just this they are lamenting, they might disturb the Lord. So please stop this, otherwise I'll go and drown myself in the Ganges. And then they stopped. And then afterwards, what did the Lord, I don't think he told that part of the story. But what afterwards? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Srivas, you could chase me. I become your son. Me and Nityananda, we become your sons. And then of course we know we went in and he gave life back to the son. And the son preached, oh, you're my father, you have in previous life had so many fathers, so many mothers. And now I'm going to a new destination. Please allow me to go. I'm finished here, my destiny here is finished. Please allow me to go to my next destination. Everything becomes very clear. And then the practice say, okay, you can go. And no more lamentation. Right? They're happy. Okay, now he's in a better place. But why do we lament when somebody dies? It's just selfish reasons mostly. Why people then, oh, I will miss this company. Because how can you lament for a person who's leaving this terrible place? Especially for a devotee. How can you lament? There's nothing to lament for. He's gone back to the spiritual world. You should celebrate. And that's what we see. Of course, like we hear Haridas Thakur leaving and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu become we're bewildered. But what will they do? They just make a feast. Just make a festival. Not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself went out begging, and they created, so many came and gave so much prasadam or bhoga, and they created so much feast. And then they were just discussing glorifying Haridas Thakur. Chapters in Chaitanya Charitamrita just glorifying Haridas Thakur. That's really what is funeral. Glorifying a person for devotee. Glorifying what he did, all the service he did for Krishna. That's the way. If I ever die, and you come to my funeral, please, if there's anything, just mention whatever good I did. Right? Don't mention all the bad things. Doesn't matter. Because the person will be there, or at least he'll hear. Can imagine, like you come to your own, you're there, and all your enemies come and say, "Hey, you're such an obnoxious person." So no, that's the place for glorification. That's the place the person should be glorified. Actually, this morning when the spark went off, I think because we hear about this transient nature. So I was just thinking when we're in the kirtan, just after the kirtan, that this bulb went off. The transient nature of even a bulb. All of a sudden now it's time to die. And then it's just finished. A little smoke and a little smell, and then out of existence. And actually, just at the same moment, I got a terrible, like pain in my heart. I thought, okay, I'm dying here, what? Just the first thought, I'm dying? And then afterwards, I thought, but it doesn't matter. I'm here in Mangalati, fine. What's to leave the body now? What can be better? Best place, best time. But not that fortunate. But we never know. We never know when to go. We don't know. Prabhupada says, who's an old man? Can you say you're older than me? That like, who's old? When you have grey hair, you're old? You have some. Is that a sign of old age? Glasses? Is that your eyesight is not so good anymore? That's a sign of old age. Right? And in my case, the mind is not so sharp anymore. Is that a sign of old age? Or when your teeth are getting loose and falling out, is that a sign of old age? No, when you're close to dying. That's a sign of old age. So we don't know. Pariksit, he had 7 days. We don't know even that. So Angira Muni here, he's saying to Tritaketu, now you should understand what is happening here. You can take this as a curse, or you can take it as a benediction. Because we already heard how it's natural for a king to be attached to his son. Because he needs, it's his duty to his ancestors, it's not just for himself. But he should, what Tritaketu should have understood, is this is the will of the Lord. For God's sake, he had 10 million wives. And it's mentioned he was not impotent and they were not barren. Is that the right word, barren? If you can get... It's not barren, you mean you haven't got children? It's
no, you cannot get barren.
So, but it just didn't happen. So then he thought, okay, 10 million wives, I'm not impotent, wives are not barren, maybe there's some indication here that's not what should happen. But he was just thinking, no, this is my duty, this is what I have to do. So this is a sign of a great devotee. He sees, whatever I do, he can serve Krishna to the last, but if he has to leave his body, or if this is not his service of this, okay, this is what I should do. He learns to listen to Krishna. First he just say, this is my duty, this is what I should do. But if there's so many clear signs or instructions that no, you should do this, then that's what you should do. Krishna is speaking through the devotees. Krishna is speaking through our intelligence. Krishna is speaking through logic. Krishna is speaking through even the karmics. You experience that on Buddhist fusion. So we always get instructions. We just learn to know what is right and what is wrong. That's the faculty of the intelligence. The intelligence, the duty of the intelligence, or the dharma, you can say, of the intelligence, is simply to discriminate, do the right activities and avoid the wrong ones. Krishna consciousness is accepting the favorable things and rejecting the unfavorable. This is the essence of all in Krishna consciousness. So when we understand this transient nature of the body, we are here in this body, but this body will decay and it will die. It's temporary and giving so many problems, but we know the soul is completely transcendental. So why be so worried about all these temporary things? Matros pasas to come to yasitos nasukata. Agama painonis just tantitiksas prabhavata. Already in the second chapter, Krishna says, makes it very clear to Arjuna, why matras pasas to come to you? Why are you so absorbed in all these matras pasas, all this transient sense gratification? Situasna, it's like summer and winter. Situasna, sukha dukkha, happiness and distress. Winter and summer, always changing. Agama painonityas. It has this transient nature. So what should you do? Titiksava, Karika. You should simply just endure it, just tolerate. You can, like now the weather, this is summer. Right? It's so cold. What can we do? We can lament, oh, it's so sad, why is there no sun? Or we can just say, okay, this is what happens. This is the karma of this nation. Such terrible weather, even in June. So we can build our happiness, or make our happiness dependent on all the external things in this world. We need to come to the level where we are dependent on Krishna. Krishna is the source of my happiness. I want to live on the level of the soul. I don't want to live on the level of this body of flesh. So Krishna is the one giving all happiness. From all happiness coming. Everything is coming from Krishna. So if you understand this 2:17 Bhagavad Gita says, like the rivers flows into the ocean, millions and millions of liters or tons of water is constantly flowing into the ocean, but the ocean never races beyond the springs, because it's so huge. Apuyamanam achala pratistam, samudram abra pravisandavat. Tadvati karma pravisandasavena shantinavatina karma. That a person who have that understanding, he's not disturbed by all these sensory impressions and all these temporary impressions coming constantly into the mind like rivers flowing into the ocean. He's not disturbed by them like the ocean, because he's great. He's a Mahatma. A Kripana, he will constantly be disturbed. Well, constantly, that's the nature of the sutra, is always lamenting. There's so many things to lament for if you're in the body concept of life. There's practically only things to lament for. Right? So it's naturally, for a sutra, for a materialistic person, naturally they are suffering. Because the material world, the material body is created for something. That's the whole purpose of it. But we should be on the level of the soul. We should hear, we should be like Angira and Narada Munis. We should come to the level where we have full realization. And when we do, we can preach like they are. Maybe we shouldn't do. I heard Jehovah's Witnesses that do that read the newspapers and find out when people die, dead ads. And then they go and visit. But this is actually what Angira Muni and Narada Muni is doing here. Okay, he died, let's go and preach. But really that's where people are open. If you ever go to a funeral, very easy to preach. I remember when I was in my uncle's funeral and my father's funeral, people just come afterwards asking so many questions. So many questions. What is this in mind? What happens when you die? Then you have so many opportunities to preach. This body is birth, death, has nothing to do with the soul. When the body dies, the soul continues. So first of all, we should come to that level where actually we have something to say. Like sages. We need to come to the point where we have something to say. And we can only get something to say when we understand, when we hear from Krishna. So that's why it's so important to become sages, to become sadhus, to become pure devotees. Because if we do, the preaching will have an extreme impact. Extreme. We can give so many excuses. We're living in the Western world, maybe the most degraded part of the Western world. So difficult to preach, and it is. trying. How many devotees are here? Go to India, the temples will be full. And they're just, when I was now in South India, they took me to this new temple, this new Namahatha center, and this new temples. They're just coming up like, I was just about to say weeds, but that's not a proper word. But they're just coming up like that. Temples are just exploding in India now, actually. So many here, Russia, so much. So many people are becoming devotees. But here people are so much covered by ignorance. So we need to have even more Shakti. We need to be able to penetrate all these loads and barriers of ignorance and passion and even goodness to be able to reach the hearts of these conditioned souls. So we need it more than anyone else. We need the purity, we need the power, the Ikya Kurananana, the laser focus of the Shastras. So unless we learn what Krishna is saying, how can we speak? Otherwise we just speak our minds. We just say, you should do like this. Yes, what are you doing? What if you say Krishna says? Krishna says, Saradama Prititya. Krishna says, Mam Ekam Saradama. Krishna says, Manmana Bhavana. That's preaching. That's preaching. And then of course you have to explain, you cannot just say Sanskrit. Then you have to explain, this is what it means. This is what it means. And then it will enter, because that is Krishna's method. So when Krishna, he sees, actually he's taking the trouble to really study this, to understand, to do, follow Srila Prabhupada. How many, listen to a lecture of Prabhupada and hear how many Sanskrit slokas. Just once when, even when he's not quoting the Sanskrit, he's speaking slokas. Most of the time. When you study Prabhupada, he just goes from one sloka to the next. And then he gives some realization, just see the cars out there, and he says something about the cars, and then back to a sloka again. Constantly, just speaking Krishna Katha, real Krishna Katha. That's where the Shakti is, that's where the power is, where it penetrates the heart. Even though people cannot understand. When Prabhupada, he heard his lecture of his spiritual master, he was sitting there still. And that's why when Prabhupada, they was asking, giving him recommendation for initiation, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati immediately said, yes, I noticed him, he likes to hear. He likes to hear. And Prabhupada says one can listen and speak. A good disciple becomes a good guru. And even he gave him second initiation, what was very rare for Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Gave him immediately also second initiation. And he said, now you study, anyone knows what? Nectar of Devotion. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, of course. Now you study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, and because what is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? What is Nectar of Devotion? The science of devotional service. Everything is there in this book. I mean, I even mentioned this before I like this example. Ajahn Prabhu was once living here in the temple of Bhavana. And he told one the story of, he was driving in America with Vishnudhyana Maharaj. And Vishnudhyana Maharaj, he was reading in this Nectar of Devotion, completely like falling apart. And said, why are you always reading in this Nectar of Devotion? And Vishnudhyana Maharaj says, I want to find out what's wrong with me. That should be, what's wrong with me? Why am I not Savadam Prititya, Krishna says? Why am I not just doing it? So that means I haven't understood, so let me go through it again. Okay, this is it, right? Okay, this is it. This is it. That's what Prabhupada is speaking to us. Saying, this is what you should do. 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 So we just have to open and see. This is the recipe for happiness. This is the recipe for Krishna consciousness. But we need to imbibe it. Make it part of us. Thank you very much. Any comments, questions?
I had one in relation to the class you gave yesterday. I was just thinking, we saw this video of like when the soul enters the room, how it goes through terrible suffering. I was just thinking when like empowered spiritual entities like Srila Prabhupada or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj or Jesus Christ Maharaj or these great souls, they come to this world. Do they undergo the same suffering, or are they like completely in bliss in the womb?
In the womb. I can't remember reading it or hearing it, but we hear when Prabhupada is leaving his body, Krishna is protecting him. We hear when Haridas Thakur came in 24 marketplaces. Right? Krishna is protecting with his own body. So from that, I think we can easily come to the conclusion that Krishna will also protect you in the womb. But how the whole thing works, because you're still in that little narrow, but Krishna can do, like again, Prabhupada's body was being, the doctor said he should be screaming in pain, and he was peacefully translating Bhagavatam. So, for sure Krishna is protecting devotees. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he was crying not of pain, not of agony, but of happiness when he was leaving his body. He says, it will not get any better than this. So Krishna is, as he says, he will protect his devotees. So we can, when a pure Nitya Siddha comes from the spiritual world, will he suffer any kind of suffering? I don't think so. Krishna is protecting him. And then you can say that Prabhupada went through so much agony, so many troubles, so many anxieties, and definitely he did. But that's just for his glorification. So, I don't think so.
Also, pure devotee cannot suffer. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's like contradictory to being a pure devotee.
Yeah. Even Queen Kosi, she's praying for it. Please give it to me. But he can't. In one sense, he can't. Because they're not. The only reason we suffer is bodily conception of life. It's the only reason we're suffering. And
sense perception.
Sense perception. And Avanti Brahmana, in the end of the Bhagavatam, says it's only the mind. All suffering is in the mind. The people here taking, or Providence who took away my wealth, the wife and my children who left me, these people taking, whenever I get a little food, they're taking away or coming urinating in it. These people taunting me, these people, all these are not my enemies, I have only one enemy. Bandhur Atmatmanastra Yamina Maimatmanastita. Anatmanastu Satvati Vatatatmaya Sattva. The mind. So Krishna says the mind will remain the greatest enemy until it becomes Krishna conscious. So that's the only enemy we have. There's no other enemies in this world. So yeah, the body is free from all anxiety, free from all suffering, free from all, yes, it doesn't have any enemies. Suridak Sarva Bhuta. Krishna is the best well-being friend. How's this other one with Titiksavat Karunika, Suridak Sarva Bhuta. So sadhu, devotee who's really pleasing to Krishna. He is Suridak Sarva. He's the best well-wishing friend of all living entities. Agyatra Satana. Like Yudhishthira has no enemies. One of the names of Yudhishthira actually. No enemies, the one who have no enemies. So there were people, of course, we know Duryodhana was inimical towards Yudhishthira. But Yudhishthira was not inimical towards Duryodhana. He proved that in many instances. Never had any grudges towards Duryodhana. Even when Duryodhana was being tortured there in the forest by the Gandharvas, because he actually wanted to give suffering to Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira said to Arjuna and Bhima, go and help them. They are our brothers. When we are in war, they are the Kauravas and we are the Pandavas. But when somebody attacks any of us, we are only one. We are only Kauravas. Free from all the enemies. So that's the nature. Right? First, we are here Nashotati in this verse. Like the famous verse, Nashotati Nakanshati. Brahmabhuta Prasadana. So when you're on the Brahmabhuta platform, Nashotati Nakanshati. No lamentation, no desire, no hankering. You don't need. You're in the Brahmabhuta. You're free from that. And Prabhupada says that's where devotional service starts. That's where we perform devotional service. And we're free from all the dualities in the material world. Heat and cold, friend and enemy, all these dualities belong to the material body, the material conception, material bodily conception of life. 11th canto says, Aina Gita. It's Pitto Kim Swami Bhaya, very relevant to this verse. That Pitto Kim Swami Bhaya, Swami no Pune Swaklitaya, Kim Atmanam Kim Suriram, Itiyo Namasyati. So who does this body really belong to? Pitro, to the father?